Do not prioritize your schedule, but schedule your priorities. Hello, fellow Legacy Inkers. This is Ayo, and I'm back to talk about habits of productivity, not just for authors, but for everyone. Okay? I have a lot of roles in my life. I wear many hats. I am a full time mom. I also have a full time job as a manager, handling a lot of people and teams. And I also travel. I used to travel a lot before the pandemic, and of course, it's going to come back when regulations are back to where we can already travel. And I also am a leader of some organizations. I am the president of the Toastmasters Club, the Pinoy Writers Toastmasters Club. I also belong to some of other organizations that are important to me, to my goals, and to my advocacies as well. And there are times where I felt like I'm so overwhelmed with a lot of things, but then I scream for more time. And do you also resonate with that kind of situation wherein you're just being overwhelmed with a lot of to-do lists and time is not just enough? Well, over time, I have embraced and practiced time management skills, and I'm very thankful. And I'd like to share this best practices that I do so that not just I can get a lot of things done, but really do the things that are vital, that are important to my goals, which give me the most satisfaction and really make the best out of me. Okay, because that's where my greatest contribution lies. Okay, again, let's talk about being productive, but not necessarily being so busy you don't have things for other important things in your life. Okay, so let's now go straight to habit number one. Habit number one of productivity for me is practice essentialism. And I want to show you a book which I found about 2 years ago where I learned about this. Essentialism by Greg McKeown. This is the disciplined pursuit of less. This book is not just telling you strategies, but this is a lifestyle. It is a discipline of pursuing less, the ability and the courage to say no to people and to things that do not matter to us. Because most of us are very apologetic when we say no or we turn down people. But here, this book is going to teach you how not to feel that way, because now you're going to go for the tough trade-offs between having a good choice, and a great choice. And this reminds me of another book by Jim Collins. It's Good to Great. He says there that we don't have a lot of great schools because we only settle for good. We don't have great hospitals because we settle for good hospitals, or, in every aspect of our life. So that's it. It's about pursuing less, because again, less is more. Okay. So practice essentialism. There's so many things that you can already say no. You have to have an inventory of where you put yourself. Okay. You should know where you are going, because having this practice will give you a sense of clarity and direction in life. Okay, habit number two. Habit number two is power up your morning. When you wake up in the morning, you don't grab for your phone. You don't fumble out your bed just to check your emails, just to check other people's agenda. You don't check the social media when you wake up in the morning, because it will ruin your day. It will get you off track and your mind will become muddled. First thing in the morning, what you need to do is to power up yourself. And there's a lot of routine that you can practice. It's different from one person to another. As for me, it includes having my personal prayer, reading my scriptures and other devotional books. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it doesn't matter. What's important is what you put here and how it's going to affect here and the overall feeling that day, okay? Especially as a mom, it's important for us to really feel energized and show our, family that we are good. Otherwise, if you are grumpy, they tend to become grumpy as well, okay? So also another thing that I do to power up my morning routine is I write daily, because that helps me clear my mind and process what has happened the other day. And I also do my yoga practice. Okay. Next, Habit number three is follow a deadline. Follow a deadline. Why is it important? Because having a deadline gives you a measurement on how you're going to take it, how you're going to deal with it. Even if you don't achieve it the exact day or the time that you wanted it, but setting a deadline can actually start your engine, okay? It will propel you to focus on what needs to be done. So here are some of my books. This is my first collection of poetry, yearnings. And I also do anthology projects that involves sometimes hundreds of authors worldwide. These are the latest ones. And I put a deadline for each of this book, let's say 3 months or 5 months. And what happens is I am seeing a clear picture of how my life goes within that time frame. And I don't put more tasks because I know that I have a gigantic task waiting for me here. So it's just a matter of priorities. It's a question of priorities for you. So setting a deadline will actually push you to do it more than procrastinating. Okay? Now let's go to habit number four. Habit number four is follow the 10-minute rule. Okay, I learned this several years ago. I forgot who taught me this, but the 10-minute rule is exactly that. Doing your tasks within a 10-minute time frame. Okay? How about eating your food in 10 minutes? How about taking a break for 10 minutes? Or how about answering an email for 10 minutes or writing that blog post for 10 minutes? Because sometimes in our mind, we program it that it's going to last very long. But if we actually train our minds to work quickly, but with focus, with all our intentions in there, you can actually achieve more. And the thing is, what will surprise you is that getting this 10-minute work tasks will incentivize you because it gives you a sense of achievement that, I finally done this. So I'm going to check this in my box already. It's already done. And even if you go beyond the 10-minute time frame, the thing is you already got started. So it's up to you to continue that. And the motivation there is because you have already started it. You will be now pushed to finish because wow, you're seeing the results. It's the beauty of the small wins, the small tasks. It's gonna energize you even more. So instead of doing a thing for an hour, can you just do it in like 10 minutes or a little more than that? Just try. Okay, let me go to number five. Five habit is the follow the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. So it should be 20 minutes. The 20% of your activities should account for the 80% result. Do not change it. That you spend a lot of your time, you're 80%, but the result is only 20%. You look at your job, you study it well, along with if you're managing teams, if you're managing people, they should also look at work the same way because even if they are in the office from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you don't see them because we now work virtually for some of us. The thing is, it's not really about, my boss needs to see that I am doing a lot of things within 8 to 5. But sometimes in just an hour or 2 or 3, you get the things done. But that's actually impacting your key performance indicators. That's moving you forward. Instead of you doing a lot of things, but actually you're going backwards. It's so detrimental to your work. So check where you can apply the Pareto principle in your work life, in your personal life, because that will really increase or boost your productivity. All right, number six. Number six is take regular breaks. You heard me right. You need to take regular breaks. Do not work straight because it's gonna exhaust you. Okay, your mind can explode. And you know what happens to people when they work over time, when they overdo themselves. The big S, that's stress. The stress that leads to a lot of diseases, including cancer. And a person who is stressed out is not a happy person to be with in the first place. You will be so grumpy. You kind of question already why you're doing this. So the sense of happiness, the sense of why is overridden with your stress, with your physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, and that's not gonna help you. What I do is after working I'm giving my focus for, let's say, an hour task. I take a break. Okay. I literally remove my place from that, but from that situation, water break, do a headstand, go out with us, breathe some fresh air, talk to my child, call somebody. I do that because I do not want to stress myself. At the end of the day, you're still going back to your family. You don't want to take all of those things at work and carry them. And hey, you're no longer effective at home. Okay. And lastly, number 7, I'm guilty of this for a long time. I was so guilty of this for a long time, but now I changed. Do not multitask. Do not multitask. It's not healthy. It's not giving your 100%. You are divided. You are spread too thinly if you are multitasking. You'd rather get the thing done. You know, the biggest priority, the biggest task for the day. Go on, deal with that first and focus your energy there. And that's when how you move things, schedule it, within the day. The thing is, again, ask yourself what are the priorities, because you can just drop, eliminate, remove all of those other little details in your day-to-day basis when they're no longer contributing to the overall picture or the intended goal. So give yourself 100%, because it's also unfair on your part if you are asked to do something and you only give 30% because you are so tired already. And because of that, it can affect your performance or how your boss actually rates you. And that's gonna affect a lot of things already. So again, going back to principle or habit number 1 is practice essentialism. That is very, very important. Okay? So I hope that I was able to help you see things differently today, because I know that a lot of things as well, other habits, but these 7 habits work perfectly with me. And I find myself now happier and more productive. And I have more time actually for the things that I want to do. Again, you are never too busy for things that are important to you. So again, it's a question of priorities. What are your priorities? What are your values before you even begin to plan your day and set your day for the main things that you need to do? All right, be selective, practice essentialism and all of the habits that I told you. Okay, so I'll see you again on my next video.